So the bed's got a couple little areas. If you look right in here, it'll have to be sanded down or kind of smoothed out. Did my best to smooth the bed rail from the damage that was already there, but you can see it's not perfect. It's got a few areas that could use filling. This area's kind of munched up here. It's really, I filled it with a lot. It does have fiberall on here that you can see, and then I put on metal glaze by Evercoat, but it is broken off. Originally there were ties that were here, here, and I think here, but I just kind of really did my best to kind of smooth those out, and you can kind of see it got pretty flat here. Looks like I ended up with a little bit of a low spot coming through here, even though I tried my best to really smooth and feather this rail. Outside of that, there's this fender lip here, which you can kind of see there's a little bit of a difference there though, and a couple pock marks. This whole area from here to here was rusted out whole, and if you look back up here, I ended up backfilling it with fiberall and then sanding it down, and yeah. So this back bed rail, or the front of the bed here, had a big dent. I just filled it in. This bed itself will definitely need to be, get the rust off and clean it up. Outside of that, it's dented, it's a bed. Totally open to advice whether it's worth just, replacing these skins or just, clean up the edges here and just feather it down enough to where it kind of looks respectable. Let's take a look here at the other side. Point out a couple things here. First, you can see that there is a little bit of rust coming through here. This primer coat has been on here now about 2 weeks. It is porous, it's just Rust-Oleum, it's nothing special. I put it on very light because I plan on getting into the shop, but you can actually see here, you can look at that, the angle of the shade. It's not a perfect blend. Again, I tried, but it was really dinged up across the top of this bed rail. Same kind of scenario here where you see these little rivets, these dents and dings in. I smoothed out section here. The biggest body damage that was here on this truck was right here. This whole section right here is basically backfilled in with fiberall, and then bonded, or the Evercoat body filler, and then metal glaze to finish. I did pull it out in a bunch of spots to try to get out as much as I could to get the original shape back, but again, not perfect. Bent the lip back in here. There's a couple little dents or dings, but other than that, this was the biggest area that was really dinged up on this truck. Again, same thing up here, really chewed on up here. It was backfilled and welded, and then I kind of ended up doing my best to smooth it. You can actually see some of the leftover metal glaze there kind of showing through. The area here that kind of needs sanding. I mean, if we did do this, we'd want to definitely feather out or clean out that hole, assuming we keep these panels, unless we get rid of them. Again, not opposed to getting rid of the panels and replacing them if that's the better option and more cost effective or time effective. Underside back of the cab, a couple areas to point out. From about here to here is rusted out. I did grind it and put some Rust-Oleum spray in there, and then I backfilled it with fiberall again. And it has a piece of kind of chicken wire mesh in there to help reshape it back into place. If you actually were to sand it down enough, you could kind of maybe start to see it show through a little bit. But for the most part, that also has metal glaze on it. The rest of these doors, I did remove all the molding, ground it a little bit, and then did my best to kind of smooth up all these panels. That's pretty much it for the rust there. The hood itself, you can kind of see some rusty areas showing through, but that's just more or less because I pretty much ground it down to the metal and then filled it. The same thing on the roof here. The roof could use some love. I did sand it, and but again, you can start to see the rust coming through. It did just rain right now, so you kind of start to see some of that. So it'll need a decent sanding, but nothing that couldn't come off pretty easily. Same thing on the back of the cab here, right about here. From here to here, and about that big coming through. Same kind of thing where I patched it. There's photos of that available. The rest of the panels are clean, nothing else done. Same thing, rest of the panels here are clean. Hood itself could use a little bit of finishing, sanding, but I did go over it with some metal glaze to try to clean it off and really level it out as much as I could. There's the top rail, and then I'll just give you one quick walk around so you can just kind of see what you'd be working with. You know, for the most part, the bed, I'm just looking to get the rust out, put a paint coat down. I would ideally just end up putting in a spray-in bed liner in here. That's what I'm gonna do, because again, it's just beat up and there's no point in probably replacing all those panels there. You know, replacing this panel, like I said, if it makes more sense to do it, then let's do it, unless you really think you can save it. But you can kind of see, if you look up along here, you can see not a perfect line, so if we were to do gloss coat on here, you would definitely see the waviness kind of flowing through there. And then there's the top of the rail, there's the drip rail. You can see what you'd be working with, if anything, in there. Inner side of the inner fender well does need a little bit of love, getting some of that sand off, or some of the rust off right there. That's pretty much it, I think, for this truck. And then, yeah, I got my work cut out for the rest of the interior and the rest of the truck.